Hello everyone, how's it going today? Uncle Mike here. As many of you know, I've caught 2 salmon this year so far, and today I want to show you how to rig up the way that I've been catching them, because obviously it works. I got the fish to prove it, so stay tuned and check it out, and I'll show you how to tie the hook up with the slider setup and everything. I'm going to make it from start to finish and show you guys how to do it. Some of the stuff you might want to go buy because it's taken me some time to get the tools together to make the stuff that I'm making. So it wasn't like I just went and bought the stuff all overnight. It's an investment, but I make lures and other stuff. So the more I invest into the tools, the more lures and stuff that I can make for fishing. And so it's been a long time investment, slowly building over time, getting my stuff together. And yeah, now I can finally do this stuff, but I'll show you how to do it from start to finish. Here we go. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to make one of these. This is called a bumper. This will go between your main line. I run 80-pound braid, and between your flasher. That way, if you get snagged up, you make sure that you don't lose your flasher along with all your rigging. Also, sometimes your swivels hang up, and this thing will twist. And this stuff will take way more twist than that will. And if this twists up and breaks, there goes your flasher, there goes all your rigging, there goes all your money you have invested into it. All right, first up, 150-pound test. You want this between 18 and 24 inches. So depending on what size you want, make it 2 inches longer than you want, because by the time you curl the ends, you lose an inch on each side. This is 20 inches. It will end up being 18 when I'm done with it. If you got a shorter pole, I recommend running a shorter rigging as possible. That's what happened to my dad the other day. A couple split rings. His pole was too short. He had his flasher inside the boat trying to get the fish close, and when it took off, the line went out, flasher hung up on the boat motor, snapped it right off. We're going to slide that through there, if I can get it to go. Go ahead and put our snap ring in so we don't have to use pliers later to do it. Loop that right back around. There you go. Just like that. You're going to take these. This is a number 2. Try and get it where you can see there. It's got a little point in it. You want to put that point right in the center. Make sure you're set. Tighten that up just a little bit. Make our cord a little longer. Crimp it. Flip it over. Crimp it again. Then you're gonna want to check it. Something that I can hold on to it with. That looks good. All right. You want to take a bead. Slide it on there. If you forget the split ring, that's alright. You can always open it up and put it on later. I just try and do it now because it's easier than having to deal with it later. But I'll have to use them anyways to put my swivels on. Gonna crimp on that one. Then we're gonna take a couple of swivels. I got some good ones here. We're gonna fight the package, because why not? Take your split ring pliers. This sure makes it a lot easier having these. Open that up. By the way, these are size 8 split rings. These are size 1 high-speed trolling rolling treble is what it says. Probably because there's 3 barrels. A little closer to the end. And there we go. One 18-inch bumper set up, ready to go. And that's how you do that. Alright. Now I'll show you how to tie up the hook with the slider on it. Alright, so this is what we need to tie it up. I've got some 30-pound here, and I run a 1/0 hook with 30-pound. I got some 50-pound here, and I run a 2/0 hook with 50-pound. The reason is that if the 1/0 hook's a little bit weaker, so if I snag up on the bottom or something, more likely I'm going to bend the weaker hook out before I break my 30-pound test. But with 50-pound, I can up my hook size a little bit, because if I catch a bigger fish, it's less likely to bend the hook out. And then I have some Brad's 3/0 regular hooks here. And I really like these Brads. I like them better than Eagle Claw laser cuts. Not as good as Gamakatsu, but they're a fraction of the price, so that's what I run. We're going to go ahead and do a 30-pound. And of course you need a tangled mess of used braid. Okay, it don't have to be a tangled mess, but it helps. It does help. Alright, we're going to grab our treble hook here. In Oregon, you're allowed to run up to 3 hooks. A treble hook counts as 1 hook. So right there, that's 2 hooks. Alright, first thing you want to do, through your eye, bring it down, give yourself plenty, make a loop at the bottom, pinch it together, and hold it right there. Then you're going to start wrapping the hook and line. This is the same way you tie a bait loop. So if you know how to tie a bait loop, you know how to tie this knot. My fingers aren't working very good today. You gotta try and keep that loop tight while holding on to that. That's lovely. Once you get about that many wraps, I lost count. 8 to 10 is what I usually shoot for. You bring that down, stick it through that loop. And then you're going to pull your main line, which will pull that loop tight. I usually use my teeth, but I'm not going to do that on camera. Grab that, pull it. Careful, don't let that slip out of your hand and the treble hook sink in. Had that happen a couple times. There you go. And again, like I said, same knot you tie for a bait loop. Okay, now I take this and I stretch it all the way up. I'm 5'8", so if I stretch this all the way up to my shoulder, I'll end up with about a 2-foot leader. If you're shorter, go past your shoulder. If you're taller, stop short of your shoulder, you know, but keeps me from having to measure. Now, if you're retying, you want to slip this on first, then tie your treble hook. But since it's the first time, this end's a lot easier to work with. So, since I'm working from the top end, I'm going to slide it up and through. Then I'm going to take this tangled mess of braid, and I usually start out with the slip knot loop. 1, 2 for good measure. Leave yourself a nice tail on it too, and I'll show you why too. So there we go. We got our slip knot with a nice tail on it. We're gonna lasso this guy just like that. Cinch it tight. Run your tag up with your other line. And wrap your line around it. I've discovered by doing that, it allows you to get it tight, but still allows your hook to slide fairly easily. And it gives you something to tie off at the end. It's only bad only because I'm on camera. It's usually easier than this for me. Oh, briefly interrupted. Anyways, back to where I was. After you get that, I try and do at least half, if not 3/4 of the hook. And then hold it tight. I'll just take my line and do what they call a half hitch, full hitch, whatever. Give it a couple twists. Stick it through. Pull it tight. And that's going to hold it for you. Twist it around, pull it tight. That's going to hold it for you for the time being. And then you're going to cut your line off. About the same length as that other tag end. Then you can take these two and tie them together. There's been times that this is the only hook I've had in the fish, so I like to make sure that it is plenty secure. Tie it again. We're going to do that one more time. But we're going to do a double knot. So loop through once. Yeah, I'm having troubles. Once. Twice. Hey. Good knot on there now. And I take those, trim them off, get that out of the way, and then just for extra measure, I'll melt those ends. Okay, now you have slider hook. So you can use multiple sizes of baits with the same setup. There you go. Oh, I'll trim that off. And there is your slider hook setup. Now you're going to take some 50, same thing, same length, up to your shoulder. You basically want these between 18 and 24 inches also. And then we're going to take one of these smaller ones. We're just going to tie a standard fishing knot. Can't think what it's called right this second. Just give it a good 7-8 twists. Take your end through that loop that the twists made, back through the loop that you just made, like so. Pull that tight, pull that tight. we go. Still don't quite have it tight. I don't know why it's giving me such a hard time. Ah. Now we got it. Clip that. Take the end with your hook. Same thing. Twist it up. Loop it through. Since I got extra line, I'm gonna hold it this time. Pull my main line first, so I don't waste so much line. There you go. There's that part. Now on this end, the other end of your 50. So now you got your hooks, your 30, swivel, 50 pound, and around 48 to 50 inches is what I'm catching the fish on. So that's what I'm trying to make it. Now we're going to take a swivel. I like using these because they got the little hook on them. They don't pull apart as easily. We're going to put that on the other end of our 50. And there we go. Clip that. Okay. Now we're gonna grab one of these guys. This is the flasher. We're gonna take that bumper that we just made. You can't have too many swivels. I'm going to take another split ring. Lost my pliers. That's gonna go like that. That's gonna go all right. So that'll hook to the swivel on your braid. Like I said, I'm running 80. Comes down, more swivels, split rings. And you'll take this and you'll hook it right there. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'm forgetting something. You're not going to hook that to your main line. You're going to hook that to your splitter. And that hooks to your main line. Okay, that's the side your weight goes on. That's the side this hooks to. So, yet another split ring. And if you wanted to, you could just do that, but like I said, I believe in swivels after losing a flasher and my whole setup with it twisting on me because I didn't have enough. And yes, the more hardware you add, the more expensive it gets. But the more hardware you lose, the more expensive it gets too. Just like everything in life, it's a give and take. There we go. Okay. Now that we got all that, we're going to put on a sinker line too. Sinker line test. Because if something's gonna break, you want it to be your sinker. Now we're gonna use one of these guys that don't snap because they're cheaper. For one, but also because if your weight snags up, that could open up, you lose your weight, but you still have all your rest of your stuff. But odds are this 20 pounds gonna break first. Same thing, 18 to 24 inches. Same knot. The reason you're doing this, putting a swivel on the end of it there, is so sometimes you're fishing 50 foot of water, sometimes you're fishing 20 foot of water. So if you do this, you don't have to change your weight. Because that opens up, I'm just going to do a really, really simple loop right here. Like that. That will go in there. And now we have our complete setup. That goes to the sinker. That goes to your main line. Then you got your bumper. Then you've got your flasher, your 50, your swivel, coming right on down to your treble and your slider. There you go, guys. That's what I've caught both my fish on, is that setup right there. Except for I was using 50 instead of 30, which 30 is more likely to catch a fish than 50 from what they say. So that's it. And that's the rigging that I've used to catch the 2 fish that I've caught so far. Hoping to go out and get some more. Getting the GoPro figured out, so hopefully I can get some on video for you guys. That would be awesome. I'd love to film me catching one for you. That'd be, yeah, just phenomenal. But one thing I need to mention, the 20-pound weight leader, I said put a swivel on it so you don't have to change the weight. I meant put a swivel on it so you can easily change the weight. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a little long, but I'm hoping you learned something from it. It can teach you something, show you how to go out and catch some fish like I've been doing. I wish the best of luck to you. Go out and get some. If you like this, enjoyed the video, give me a like, share, follow, all that stuff that everybody else always says. But yeah, anyways, thank you. Uncle Mike signing out, and fish on.